So a couple things that we can observe here. One is we obviously have a cone, which we can see from the image as well as from the description. They give us the circumference, they give us the height, and they want the volume. So let's go ahead and take those two formulas, circumference and volume, both of which can be found in the upper right corner. And we know circumference is 2 pi r. We also know that volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. So let's go ahead and write those two formulas. Circumference is 2 pi r, and volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. And we always want to start with the equation where we know everything, or are rather just missing one variable. In the second equation of volume, well, we don't know the volume. We also don't know the radius. So those are two unknowns. Whereas in this first equation, we know the circumference is 56. And so our only unknown is r, since pi is an actual number. Well, to get r by itself, we can divide both sides by 2 pi. So I'm a big fan of using my own calculator. Obviously, you can use Desmos for your calculations. It's whatever you're more comfortable with. I personally would recommend writing it as a fraction, so alpha y equals, and then choosing that first option. The reason I would do that is because if I don't use parentheses and I do division, I could make a mistake of doing 56 divided by 2 and then times pi. So notice this is the correct answer. If instead I do 56 divided by 2 pi and I don't put parentheses, notice I get a totally different answer. And again, I could put parentheses, and the one that matters the most, I'm going to insert here. So second delete really inserts. And I'll put a left parenthesis, and notice it gets me the correct answer. So 56 divided by 2 pi gives me the radius. So this is the radius. I'm not a fan of rounding in the middle of a question. I can write it here about 8.91, but I want to take that exact answer and put it in my equation for volume. So here's a cool feature of what you can do. You can press the store button right here. It's going to take the most recent answer, and I can store it as x. And I press enter, and now every time I press x, the calculator thinks this value. So don't worry about it messing up your graph. It's never going to mess up your y equal stuff. And whenever you want to change it to another value, you just do it on the home screen again. So let's go ahead and plug in what we know. I'm still going to call this just, well, I guess I could call it x squared because that's what I have it in my calculator as. And then we know the height is 25. And we're trying to find this volume. So I'm going to go ahead and type everything in the way that I see it. So for example, I'll go alpha y equals, type in 1/3. I'll do pi, so second caret. I'll do the x value, which is this 8.91 da 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 squared. And then I could just put 25, but I'll put times 25, same thing. And I get my answer, and now is the time when I can do my rounding. So when I look at my answer options, I see the one that's closest to that is option B.